Today I spoke with legislator for the 18th District of Nassau County, Josh Lafazan, on the topic of gun violence. First, Mr. Lafazan explained his community's reactions to the mass shootings this weekend in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio.
If I could use one word to summarize the kind of the emotion in the 18th District, I would say it's nervous, right? Individuals are nervous about the state of the nation. They're nervous about the safety of public spaces. Quite frankly, I have parents who are nervous that their kids are going back to school in less than a month. So people are nervous in our communities, and this weekend only elevated that sense of nerves. And I believe it's my job as an elected official is to speak out forcefully and articulately about what I'm doing to keep Nassau County safe.
Next, he talked about the committee that he proposed to prepare for a potential mass shooting here on Long Island.
I've asked the presiding officer and the minority leader to establish what's called a permanent standing committee on crisis response, right? So the legislature, we have permanent standing committees. I'm a member of the health committee, I'm a member of the finance committee. So I think the legislature should have a committee made up of Republicans and Democrats to hold confidential hearings with elected officials, city managers, crisis managers, hospital administrators from cities who have dealt with mass casualty incidents or who have dealt with situations like we saw in El Paso and Dayton.
He spoke on what and who he believes law enforcement should be utilizing in this fight.
A big topic I speak to law enforcement about is young people are the first line of defense, right? So, the shooter in El Paso had posted this manifesto on 8chan prior to the attack. We've seen posts on social media from shooters prior to the attack. So it's these young people that are often seeing this suspicious behavior online. So what I'm speaking to law enforcement about is we need to loop young people into the conversation. And there needs to be a uniform process of reporting this behavior in our school districts, because there is not uniformity among kids knowing what to do when they spot this behavior. And so my job as the only millennial legislator in Nassau County is to loop those young people in with law enforcement to set a course going forward.
Mr. Lafazan spoke on and for his generation and how they have adapted and are attempting to combat this epidemic.
I'm a member of what's become known as the mass shooting generation. Right, that's my generation. And what I speak about is, though my generation has become accustomed to seeing this type of violence each week, we are not losing our sense of collective outrage. My generation is the largest, most educated, most diverse generation in this nation. And we believe that this nation must change. We believe that it's unacceptable that, as I gave my press conference on Monday, there had been 251 mass shootings in 217 days. That is an unacceptable statistic. So at 25, and as the legislator's youngest ever member, I have to speak up on behalf of my generation. We're saying enough is enough, and we want to forge a better nation.
He laid out exactly what he feels his job is when it comes to protecting his constituents.
Sure. Look, so I'm a local lawmaker, right? So my job locally is to make sure that resources are mobilized expeditiously, that personnel are trained and equipped, and that Nassau County is as prepared as it can be for an incident. And it's naive to believe that in one of the largest counties in the nation that something like what happened this weekend couldn't happen here. So my job as a local lawmaker, until federal action swiftly takes place, we can expect more of the same. So my job locally is, does law enforcement have the tools it needs? Are people equipped with the knowledge to know what to do in a mass casualty incident, right? Are young people equipped with the tools to spot suspicious behavior and report it so we can actually thwart some of these efforts ahead of time? Our public places in Nassau County as secure as they can be.
Finally, he thanked first responders and detailed his plans to help keep them safe.
On Monday, I had initially just planned to announce my bill about police harassment in terms of making it up to $1,000 fine and making it up to 1 year in jail for pouring water or any substance on a police officer. I think the two are linked here, because I talk about we can't keep our community safe if we don't keep our officers safe. We saw in El Paso and Dayton, these officers were the first people called. These officers run towards danger when everyone runs away. And if we can't keep our officers safe, then we're in trouble. So I think the two are inextricably linked. And I just want to thank law enforcement for their heroism on a daily basis.
Thank you, Mr. Lafazan, for speaking with me. For WRHU News, I'm Eli Finkelson.